Hi guys, we are on part 14 now, and right now this is the third part where we've been in this room on the talking to Undercover at first, and then talking to the Skyroll where Monopolar. We've still got one more conversation topic to have with him. We're going to talk about the victim. Then, hopefully, we're going to have somewhere new to go. Alright, what do you know about the victim's dealings? Don't get it all wrong. I had no reason to look into it much, but this was the only time one of the tenants turned out to be a criminal. Hey, I heard that too. The boss complained a couple of times about how one of her tenants got arrested. You didn't want to meet her on one of those days. It put her in a bad mood. So maybe she intentionally rented our property to shady people. She could have just been really unlucky. She seemed really pissed off whenever it happened. Annoyed about them being criminals or annoyed about getting caught? Probably just being annoyed about having to find a new tenant. Landlords. Was she lying about anything when she talked about that? I mean, how would I be able to tell that? The boss had a good poker face. Right, not everyone has special wizard powers, do they? Well, good enough for me. Let's book her. There's nobody left to book me. Besides, what a bit of point of a boss intentionally doing something like that. Sounds like it's just inviting more trouble than sweat. Well, there is a reason Miss Holden is a very popular real estate manager with a lot of wealthy clients. She's always able to find a buyer that's willing to pay well above the fair market rent. I feel I catch your drift. If people are constantly paying more than elsewhere, then there must be some other perks to make it worth it. Things like no background checks and turning a blind eye to whatever the building is going to be used for. If this was known in criminal circles, it might have been how she attracted them. And her clients didn't care as long as money kept coming in, huh? It's not like they could have been held responsible. They were not the ones to manage the property after all. The manager can just feign ignorance too. Multiple layers of plausible deniability. It would likely be hard to prove. Perhaps I'm simply paranoid and there's nothing to this. Oh no, this is plenty. Thanks for the info. Just bringing this up might help Aurelia spin things in her favor somehow. It's worth a note. Holden's business history. Tenants of the victim's managed properties have turned out to be criminals notably often, combined with the fact that she was constantly able to negotiate above average rents. It doesn't seem unlikely that she might have used corrupt business practices. What do you have to say about that? I didn't want to cause any trouble at the auction, so I kept this to myself. Sorry. Something tells me you do that a lot. You can rely on this, right? This better be legit. Well, it's just rumors. The conclusions, I mean. Prices really are that high though. It's well known. And maybe someone from the gallery can back us up if Victoria questions it. We'll have to do, I guess. I think that's it for here. We could talk to her, but for now, I want to show you this. I'm surprised you managed to acquire this data here. Impressed? I'm somewhat of a detective myself. To keep in mind, this is not objective evidence of wrongdoing. If you're merely aiming to create a certain impression, it might be helpful. Is this the part where you say it won't make a difference in the end? I won't assume, but it's unlikely this can paint the incident in a new light. They are expecting that approach and will be prepared. I suspect that merely painting the victim in a bad light won't be too effective. Try to construct a more unexpected hypothesis, and it might become interesting. I'll have to be up to Aurelia, probably. Fingers crossed. Was any of my evidence updated? No, she's only told me about that thing. FBI agent in disguise. This guy told me he's actually with the FBI. Do you have any proof for that assertion? Nope. Noted. What else did he supposedly share with you? That the police totally covered up what happened in those past incidents we've heard about. Oh, I suppose that'll be compatible with the conclusions to Silent Detective. Oh, another detective? Now she's got my attention. The Silent Detective. The last time I checked, he was ranked 82 in Alethea. So, he's better than you. Maybe we should listen to him. His track record is obviously good to get to that rank, but his communication is inefficient. He's totally just like me. And this detective was involved in those two incidents that happened a couple years back? Correct. He was investigating a possible connection between those incidents and this tower. But after he didn't manage to get access to this building, he eventually moved on. You sure this detective was all that great? That sounds like he gave up pretty easily. He's solved many other cases since then. Obviously it's an efficient choice on his part. Detective's not hyper-fixated on a simple case until it's solved. That's crazy. In fairness, his conclusions may lead him to believe there was no urgent reason to pursue this. If he had actual conclusions, what were they? I have no confidence in relaying those. He did not choose to share them beyond several ambiguous remarks. No, that's more like a proper detective. I consulted his notes before coming here as part of my preparation. I can provide you a copy if you think it might be relevant. Sure, totally relevant. We take those. Of course, keep in mind that he wrote these right on the official police reports. It looks objectively disorganized, but this method must apparently be effective in some manner. I didn't expect that would actually be, necessary, but we've got the notes on the past incidents. Liking the vibes on this guy. Better read these when I get some time. How about right now? Official police reports on the incidents from 3 and 4 years ago contain notes added by the Silent Detective who was performing an independent investigation. Incident date, November 12th, 2027. Victim name, Saul Paul. RIP. Incident type, unknown. Ugh, they didn't even try. Cause of death, torn throat resulting in fatal damage to trachea and arteries. This should have been a bigger mess. Where did the rest of his throat go? The description, the victim was discovered in his house by a neighbour. The house's entrance was surrounded by sand. No footsteps aside from the victims were found. No signs of forced entry. The victim was found face up. Confirmed. Conclusion. Most likely caused by a large animal, likely a bird of prey that escaped unnoticed. As a result, as the animal's origin couldn't be traced, it remains uncertain whether the attack was intentional or an accident. What? So this is actually an image, but it does look like how you would normally type something out, which is quite clever. These are all saying question mark, question mark. Is there something? Oh, he's put air quotes about conclusion. So where did the rest of his throat go? And then, the rest of his throat could have been eaten if it was a large bit of prey, right? Incident date, September 22nd, 2028. Why you die on my birthday? Victim name, Chris Minnow. F wasn't built different. Incident type, accident. Dow. Press X to doubt. Cause of death, organ damage from major burns. Weird. In fire accidents, you usually die from inhaling smoke. Description, the victim was found in his burned home. The house suffered substantial damage from a fire. All entrance could have been determined to be locked. No signs of forceful entry. It was a total mess. Strange if there was no struggle. Conclusion. A fire likely went out of control, trapping the victim in his home. While the source couldn't be determined, there was no indication of foul play. So we're just not going to address the disarray. And what about the Reaper Shadow? So this doesn't mention any Reaper Shadow. Criminal. So, criminal. Soul poor. Like, you know, he's all poor. Poor visited the lighthouse in the morning of the same day. Someone saw Minnow enter it a few weeks before fire. Possible link, let me in. Poor. Scene too tidy for animal attack. First person scene mentions chest on the table near the victim. Where is it? Evidence room. So did you find that or? Minnow found some interesting pieces of debris at the scene. Chest had the key clue, but who done it? So like, is that like a model of the lighthouse? As like a piece of debris? I'm not quite sure if this is how you built the lighthouse model. It's very interesting stuff. What do you have to say about it? It does sound like this detective had some theory. Is this really all he gave you? He wrote this should be sufficient when he shared those dot points. He initially appeared a little concerned about the auction. When I pressed him on his statements, he said, "It must have been dealt with. Should be fine." Plot twist, it wasn't fine. If assessment was correct, then those incidents should be unrelated to what's currently happening. I do wish he was more precise instead of making vague, ominous statements, however. Alas, he could not fathom the bitter truth. Alas, he could not fathom the bitter truth of the matter. What do you mean? All shall be revealed when the time comes. Noted. Moving on. I don't think there's anything else that was updated about 80% to it. The fact that he was an FBI agent, I've presented. Oh. I guess that's everything I had to do. I didn't actually have to talk to Susan anymore. Everyone listen, we're ready to move. I will allow an expedition of 4 volunteers to the elevator to the floor below. They will ascertain that there is no ghost down there, nor anything else of relevance. Please be thorough and remove the stain on our otherwise clear case. Sounds like it's time to go finally time to go see what's down there. Am I prepared though? This trial will probably resume once that's wrapped up. I'm gonna try because I haven't presented the fact that he's an FBI agent to Susan. I want to see what her reaction is. Hold up! I'm still gonna do something real quick. Useless delays. What could be the hold up? Detective meeting in the bathroom. I see. Be quick, but don't create a mess. Tell me when you took care of that. Appreciate it, Chief. So I'm ready to move out when I'm ready. But first, I've got some stuff to present to you. Get this. This man is actually an FBI agent. How shocking. What a reaction. I guess she already knew his identity. It's not that I knew. I just don't care. Yep, she definitely knew. If true, then that means he's part of the police, and therefore part of the cover-up that's been happening. He's only going to say what he wants you to hear. Facts, but so are you. I could present Holden's business history. The fact that this is 10th Amendment? It'd be stupid to get this taken away from me now. I'm gonna keep it as proof. Nah, that feels like an ace's best save for a dramatic moment. It'd also be funny to catch Victoria off guard. Sloppy work. The police blatantly ignore witnesses. Yeah, they also did bring up some weird evidence in the scenes. They're not beating the cover up allegations today. Big shocker. It's almost like I'm perfectly justified to hold my own trial. Almost. Not going to comment on the fact that both of them visited this tower just before they died. Are you trying to shift the blame to us occupants? Nice try. You can't prove that the defendant hasn't been to this place before. What she seems to say speaks for itself. Guess she only gets better innocence as long as they help her own case. Is there anyone else I need to show? Oh yeah, I'll show you this. Makes sense of this right now. Those deaths. Well, I've heard of them, but it's not like I know anything. You wanna try that again? I really don't know what to tell you. Nope, try again. Okay, maybe there's one thing. Go on. Victim in the second incident, Mr. Minnell. I ran into him once. He seemed very interested in this tower, or rather any potential valuables that might still be here. So I told him what I knew about that. In exchange, he let me keep my wallet. You can call it a robbery. It's okay. I wonder if he ended up stealing something from this place. I could explain the pieces of the scene. Never mind. I hate it when people do that. We'll finish a sentence. And the Reaper, because maybe there really is a curse. Try again. I've run out of tries. Really? Not really. I'm being difficult about something here. But it's probably just a guess he has. Let's try to squeeze any more out of him. That's interesting though, that Mr. Minnell, who was seen by a witness to have left the tower, I think. Said that here. Someone saw Minnell enter a few weeks before, yeah. And there was some interesting debris at that scene. And obviously his name put as criminals, we can definitely, you know, assume that. There's no official profiles now. I think we're ready to move out now. And a good time too. We got everything we needed to done. And I did actually present everything to everyone and didn't miss a thing. So didn't have to spend ages trying to figure out what to do. So trip might take a while, and the trial will probably resume once it's wrapped up. Am I totally sure I'm ready to move on? Let's go. I'm ready to hunt some ghosts. I'll quickly update Aurelia on what I just found before we go. After briefing Aurelia Chase on her findings, Lily and Maristella was ready to take the elevator. These four were the ones chosen to descend to the forbidden floor. Oh! The animation I don't think was supposed to do. If someone handed you Pandora's box, what would you do? Would you believe them and not touch it? There has always been a flaw with such a box. You cannot observe what is inside without opening it. And once you do, it is already too late. The evil within will be unleashed. Human curiosity is too powerful to resist such uncertainty. That's why further tragedy was unavoidable. So the Pandora's box, there was a chest mentioned in those notes. Oh damn. Another murder and 3 new suspects, and it's the end of Act 2. No, they've killed me! Damn it! Damn it! Now I can't do this voice anymore. This was one of my most unique voices that I picked for this character. And now I can't do it anymore. Unless, I don't know, I appear in flashbacks or I appear as a ghost. Or maybe I was just faking my own death. Yeah, I was faking my own death. Don't worry, I'll be back. No, but this is definitely getting interesting, and we're going to keep on going into Act 3, finally. Finally. Act 2 felt like so long. Patient stable. No irregularities. I don't know who I am. This is the hospital. Why did they bring me here? Waste of time, though it does feel nice. Won't be that. Would that be quite a bill? What were they thinking? Who is there? Is that you, Aurelia? Or maybe Aurora? No, it's you, isn't it? You shouldn't have bothered. Don't look at me. Don't you realize? Seeing you like this hurts more than missing you. I don't know who I am, and I don't know who you are. What am I supposed to do? How are you feeling? Ah, Aurelia, it was you that dragged me here then. You were literally passed out. And the doctors no doubt told you there was nothing interesting. Well, they said it must have been caused by stress. There you go. Absolutely nothing. I need a little rest. It's not nothing. Take this seriously. You could have been dying. If that was enough to do me in, then that would have been that. That's simple. It's life you should be fearing. If you can dish out stuff like that, I guess you must be feeling fine enough. Oh no, thank you. I think this experience was what I needed. My mind has never felt this clear. That's relieving. Maybe you'll actually take it easier from here on. Yes, dearest, can I ask you a strange question? Well, no, I'm curious. Hit me. What's the difference between the truth and a perfect lie? Where'd that come from? Being tied to a bed for today does wonders. Seems like it. Well, I don't think this really makes sense. A lie can't be perfect. What would that even mean? Good point. Let me try something more concrete. Someone says they love you. They look like they love you. They also act like they do. There is nothing indicating that they don't. At least, not extent. But you can't look inside their head. You can't know for sure if they really do. Would it make a difference? I see. I guess not. Or at least there'd be no point worrying. This is an interesting philosophical topic, actually. I believe the term is philosophical zombies, where it's you can't tell what other people are thinking. So because of that, you can't tell if everyone else isn't just faking their thoughts, reactions, feelings, and that you yourself are the only one who is actually real, which I think the term for that feeling is solipsism, where it's like, well, you know, everyone else could just be a simulation, everyone else could just be fake. I might be the only one who's sort of, you know, seeing things from a perspective. They might just be fake. Because you can't disprove that. There's a lot of things you can't disprove, actually. Another thing you can't disprove is that the universe was created last Thursday. It's pretty interesting, but ultimately, it really doesn't make a difference. I would have to agree. It doesn't make a difference if everyone you know is fake or not, because you've still got to behave as if they are. Otherwise, you know, people will just think you're crazy. I see. I guess not. Or at least there'd be no point worrying. Oh, you always worry. Really? You think there'd be no way to tell? No uncanny feeling? Sixth sense for the truth? Well, I do know someone who might pull that off. But we're talking hypothetical perfection, so let's not. course, are still not perfect to draw. What about the lie themselves? Keeping a lie like that up forever will be impossible. You go insane. Still picking everything apart. I miss that. You're probably right. Even the most ambitious lies can't rival the truth. Now, that sounds like something you got from Constantin. You think so? Nice day. The clouds are so distant. Not as far away as him, though. Constantin. I wonder when he will return from his mission. What do you mean? He was literally here 2 minutes ago, no? No, he wasn't. Are you sure you're okay? That man isn't Constantin. I don't know who it is. I'm so sorry, my dearest. I know this will hurt you, but it's long overdue. I'm going to file for divorce. I don't know what to make of that. So we know it's Aurelia having a conversation with someone. Who knows who? Because I just gave him a random voice. Oh, and my cat's going up to the microphone now. Apologies if you heard any interference. I don't think he actually ended up touching it. Oh, you heard a little meow there. I've got him sat down on me, trying to settle him. He'll probably wander off at some point. We're back as Aurelia. Let's see what we have. We have these notes, holes, business practices. That all seems to be the same. The fact that he's an FBI agent. We haven't found out that he's been shot yet, so they probably still haven't gotten back from what? Anyway, the Lighthouse of Lunacy meatball. Taking awfully long with this excursion. I hope Lillian is alright. All I wanted was to leave it behind. Haven't I done enough? Just let me move on already. The past is the past. I can't go back and fix it. Ooh, I have to give him a voice now. It's like I always said. To reject the truth is like living in a card house. You might be able to run for a while, but you'll never be safe. Shut up. This is all your fault, not mine. I was a victim like everyone else. Fascinating, but we both know that you don't really believe that. Otherwise we wouldn't even be here. Now would we? I'm no longer someone you can manipulate. I've changed. Aurelia, Aurelia. You're literally arguing with a memory right now. I'll be living rent-free in your head forever. Leave me the hell alone. I'm afraid I don't have that luxury. Oh, I didn't notice you come in. Stop thinking about unnecessary things. The trial's about to resume. Let's go. Came here to let me know that? That's usually been that guard's job, no? How come Lillian hasn't contacted me with an update by now? If you don't already know, then you'll see. Fine. It's probably just because he's an ex-witness. I just stop getting distracted and focus on handling this trial. If only it were that simple. April 5th, 2:48 AM. So it's quite late now, or early from a certain point of view. It's past midnight for me, half past midnight to be more precise. So not quite that late, but I'm still up pretty late because I had a chance to record. And I really didn't want to put off playing this case because I wanted to find out what happened next. And I'm not regretting my decision at all because this is shaping up to be very interesting. We've had another death. How many more are there going to be? How many more of my favourite characters are they going to kill off? now I get to voice the judge again for the first time, what feels like ages.
Court is back in session for the trial of Holden v. Chase. There have been some alarming developments, but please remain calm.
I'm starting to feel like I missed something.
Now, Miss Princeton, I understand that you have been given new information. Can you please share your findings with the court?
She's definitely feeling the lateness here.
Miss Princeton, I understand it's very late, but court is in session.
I say we let her sleep. No, this trial much less obnoxious. You will forgive me for not bothering to pay attention. This trial has been such a dull affair. It's simply not providing enough stimulation. For an extraordinary mind such as mine to stay particularly engaged. Actually, this is a interesting thing. So I know a lot of people drink coffee to keep themselves awake, but I've never really been a fan of coffee. Sorry, Godot. But so my go-to drink for staying awake is Dr. Pepper, and you know I find it works wonders. You can leave in the comments if you want to share what drink makes you stay awake. But yeah, if there's a vending machine in this tower, I'd be getting some Dr. Pepper right about now. For an extraordinary mind such as mine to stay particularly engaged. Getting bored when you're starting to lose the game? Now there's a classic.
Do you mean to counter the defender's points, plaintiff?
It appears this court may need a reminder how little Aurelia actually proved. Before that, let me address the matter that frightened the general populace so terribly. During the break, my client allowed 4 individuals to investigate the lower floor. The conclusion, there is no possibility Mr. Poley saw anyone. Then, how do you explain what he witnessed? Read Schopenhauer's Paranature and Paripomena, Volume 1. An enquiry concerning ghosts seeing and what is connected therein. Reading that may enlighten you. Belief in ghosts is inborn in man. It is found in all epochs and every location. Perhaps no human being is totally free from it. The reason we see ghosts at night more often, we're more likely to be tired, we're more likely to be hallucinating. Hallucinations are also more common in the dark when there's no light to show your surroundings, to show there's not actually something there. You might see something and misinterpret it as well. It's, you know, very interesting. I was actually reading as well on the sleep deprivation experiment done by this guy, and he was only 17 years old as well, and he was actually stayed up for like 11 days in a row, which is insane. And then was reported suffering crazy hallucinations for a lot of it, because your mind just can't cope with not being able to rest. You don't even know the proper function of sleep, really. I think there's some evidence it might play a role in sort of saving things to your long-term memory, sort of saving things to your hard drive, really. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff, really. If you couldn't tell by the fact that, if you didn't know, I made a case called Dream of a Better Turnabout, which is quite a lot focused on sleep and dreams. That was my first case I ever made. The witness was clearly hallucinating. His uneducated mind played tricks on him. Acting like educated people never had hallucinations before. How do you think all the religions got started? A best, he saw something vaguely resembling the notorious Dr. Lead and assumed the worst.
That's reassuring to hear. I take it nobody was found downstairs then?
That's not entirely exact. Please have the faculties to allow me to finish my explanation before you lose your minds. What was found is a mannequin bearing a mild resemblance to Dr. Lead.
Oh, I got worried there for a second.
Regarding the rest of the search, nothing suggested an additional person was discovered. There was also no food found or anything that would allow someone to survive for long. I hope even a below average observer can now realise how irrelevant all of this is to the trial. I can feel the noose closing in again.
Wait, Miss Preston, isn't there something important you're forgetting? You know, like the guy who we just saw get shot in the outro to Act 2? 4 people were sent down, but it was my understanding that only 3 returned.
Wait, what? So I did miss something important. Who didn't come back? I suppose it's at least worth a brief remark. This is not particularly saddened me, but it's certainly unfortunate. He was meant to be my next witness. I am bound to inform you that Mr. Guard perished. It's a weird way of saying he got fucking shot 4 times. Or at least that's what it looked like. Perished? This is a joke, right? Some kind of wordplay? Unlike you, I do not try this trail out with untasteful jokes. Mr. Guard was murdered while he was searching one of the rooms downstairs. What in the world? I can no longer question it now. I wanted to believe it was all an accident caused by me. There is an actual murderer trapped in here with us.
It's as I feared then. A very disturbing turn of events. How do you wish to proceed, plaintiff?
With the ghost expelled, the only point of doubt the defendant managed to raise is the second gunshot. The asinine notion that the first gunshot may have been fake and she did nothing. It's barely worth disproving, but I have actually found a witness able to cement the defendant's guilt. A direct eyewitness to the crime. Okay, that's also hard to buy, but that's not what I want to object to. I feel you're skipping over something here because it's pretty inconvenient to you. Mr. Gart was murdered. You can't just proceed without going into that any further. Oh, what gave you the absurd notion that that is relevant right now? I mean, someone got fucking murdered in the tower where we're dealing with a case where someone got murdered. Also, both of them were shot. Oh, and they were shot. You shot while investigating the first murder. So honestly, I don't see how you could say that that's relevant, because clearly there's no. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Well, maybe I can if it's coming from you. A murder isn't just a common, everyday event. At least I'd hope so. I mean, in the Ace Attorney world, you know, one happens like every so often. Just whenever it's, whenever Phoenix Wright is hanging around, really. If 2 murders happen in the same building only a few hours apart, what are the odds that they're completely unrelated?
Indeed, I also find it a little perplexing you were going to say so little about it. Objection sustained. I'm curious. I want to know things. I want to learn.
Oh, shut up, you old fool. Predictable. I knew you were going to try and use this to confuse the court. Oh, mouse stuff with that. Rest assured, though, it's not going to help you in any way. Indeed, the second murder is very likely related to the first one. I believe this unfortunate device can also be attributed to you. However, you're only on trial for the first murder. There was no reason to delve into anything else. Maybe you should keep a few helpful facts in mind. 4 people went downstairs, and I certainly wasn't one of them. I was kept locked up in that side room until trial resumed. Which does give me a perfect alibi. I could not have killed Mr. God. If you're going to concede the same person's behind both of them, you can pretty much rule me out. Well, it's about time we reconsidered who the defendant should be. You may have to improve your hearing comprehension. I never implied you personally killed Mr. Guard. May I direct your eyes to this, Judge?
What does this envelope contain, Mr. President?
When they returned, I had these two sign an affidavit before they were allowed to do anything else. What they reported was very enlightening, as you will see.
Very well, I will read it. Split into two groups. Stayed in each other's sights. Why, it seems this establishes an alibi for Miss Hellinger and Mr. Gover.
I don't think I like where this is going. So we don't have 3 suspects, we have 1. Can I see that affidavit, Your Honour?
The court will accept it into evidence.
Statement signed by both Dr. Hellinger and Mr. Gover. Upon arriving on the lower floor, we decided to split into 2 groups. Lillian Maristella and Louis Guard moved to investigate the room to the left. We, Celeste Hellinger and Ander Gover, went into the room directly in front. We left the door to the room open to keep watch on the hallway. Dr. Hellinger started setting up her hunt devices to perform a scan. And remember, those make noise. I think it's only when you're setting up to make noise. Hold on. Yep, apparently some of the devices make a lot of noise while booting up. So that will be relevant, I think. And especially since the door is open to keep watch, so that noise will definitely be heard. Mr. Gover moved around the room, but we stayed in each of the sights. Before Hunt was fully set up, we heard a gunshot. 4 more followed after a brief pause. We immediately went to the source, the room the group had intended to investigate. Inside we found Mr. Guard on the floor. Miss Maristella was also present, but claimed not to have seen the murder. No other persons were discovered in any of 3 rooms. Was there a window in this room where the murder happened? Because if there was, that is one plausible route of escape. Somehow getting onto that thing again. And using that to somehow get down, maybe. I think I've pretty much, learnt it all. 4 people were sent to an abandoned floor nobody else had access to. 2 of them can vouch for each other. One of them wound up dead, clearly murdered by another. And I was hoping we'd actually get to investigate those rooms, but you know what? I'm kind of glad we're back to the trial because I missed doing, well, mainly because I missed doing the judge's voice, but also because we did have quite a long investigation there, even though there was only 3 rooms. But I do hope we get to go downstairs at some point. One of them wound up dead, clearly murdered by another. It doesn't take my genius to solve the case through simple process of elimination. Lillian Maristella is the culprit. Okay, so first you accuse Aurelia, and then you accuse Lillian, both because they kicked out of the group. You were just like, yeah, I want to get both of these guys. Honestly, you know, it's very convenient for her to have an animosity towards both of them, and for them to have been the ones who were set up. So I think we have a killer who really knows what they're doing here.
Unbelievable. Why would this man still do something like that?
As you have no doubt noticed, we've had numerous interruptions. Lillian is essentially Aurelia's lapdog. It's sickening how far she would go for her. She would do anything to save her beloved master. Including murder. That's patently absurd. What would be the point of this? How would killing Mr. Gart improve my position? Did you already forget the asinine argument you just tried to convince the court of? You tried to create the impression that your newfound alibi means you cannot be the culprit. The previous witnesses testimony must have made you overconfident that you could frame a ghost. You think we take such a risk just to throw a little doubt in the case? Even you must have realised how desperate your situation is. Hence, desperate measures. That's not all, of course. Mr. Guard was going to be the next witness, and he had no doubt to let Lillian know about it. He may have told her something she knew you would possibly be able to recover from. And so she got rid of him before he was able to present his testimony to the court. There's no way she'd do that. What's going on here, Lillian? Please, say something about this. What happened down there? This is all my fault. Everything. I know you wouldn't do this, Lillian. What if I did? Huh? This is not the time for jokes. I'm in serious trouble. He attacked me! It was self-defense. It was not that bad. There's no way that happened. Okay, then I just really didn't like him. Put him down so he'd get a better guard. You're making me really worried here. Why aren't you being honest with me about this? Yeah, good question, huh? That's what I wanted to ask the whole day. Looks like we're in the same boat now. Wait, what? We're not done talking. Get back here.
Wait a moment, Miss Chase.
Even I'm surprised it took this long for you to demonstrate you've lost your mind. Not just me, everyone seems to be losing their minds. Let me leave, I need to talk to Lillian. I don't think so. It would be absurd to grant you the privilege of free movement. Why is this happening? It must be the influence of the goddamn lighthouse. Now even Lillian has gone rogue. Or is it you hiding things from her, Aurelia? Maybe Lillian really is the mastermind like I thought. Was one of the many theories I've had so far. Is there still reason to keep going? Anything left worth saving? Because this case was made for a competition that's about breaking the Nox's rules, and I'm pretty sure one of those rules is like the protagonist can't do it, you know. So unreliable narrator isn't sort of a thing that's encouraged by those rules. We could have had an unreliable Lily. We could have an unreliable Aurelia. We still could, just not necessarily in being the killer. Just in hiding stuff from us, players, and we know kind of that they're already doing it. Because that weird conversation, you don't know who it was with. Some divorce. Actually though, and this is minor spoilers for Turnabout of Courage, but when we were talking about Luna in the last episode, she was married to Luna. She was married to Luke Atme, so her name was Luna Atme. So, divorce could possibly be her. Who knows? Anyway. No, it's still too soon to give up. So whoever forced me to be part of this trial is satisfied. I'm too stubborn to stop now either way. I hope the court can now comprehend why the second murder is not worth delving into. It's absolutely irrelevant to the murder we should be focused on. Pathetic smokescreen by the defendant and her accomplice. I refuse to waste my time calling any witnesses to the stand for it.
Certainly, it seems clear enough for only one suspect. The defendant is on trial for causing the wrongful death of Mrs. Holden. You may stay focused on establishing her guilt for that, first and foremost. I presume there were no objections.
None I can think of at the moment, Your Honor. She's planned to completely ignore the second murder and focus on my guilt, it seems. I've been on the lookout for a way to make it relevant then. Well, there's gotta have been some kind of evidence down there. We should be able to have access to that evidence, because some of it might be relevant to the first one.
In that case, the plaintiff may summon her next witness.
I object to you saying that I need to summon a witness. And she actually is. It's unfortunate, I object to you telling me what to do. I will tell you what to do, and I'm going to summon a witness. It is unfortunately still too early to summon a witness.
You just object to yourself?
What kind of 5G chess are we playing now? I merely record something of importance. Dr. Helen provided the affidavit on the audacious condition, and I also present our other findings. My client regrettably lacked the wisdom not to entertain that ill-advised request. As irrelevant as it is, it was solely the Princeton name to keep this promise.
Is that so? Then please present this evidence to the court.
Okay, so let's go. First, as the layout was unknown to us, here's a crude diagram she produced on the lower floor. Justice, autonomy, beneficence. The dimensions may not be to scale, but it should allow the platonic form to be conveyed. A circular hallway with 3 rooms. The elevator is in the center. Hold on, where are those things? Let me check these notes. No, they're not all similar. The scraps and the drawing. Mr. Gart was found in the room on the left. That's one of the diagrams. There's enough evidence to handle as is. All rooms have a specific icon print on the door. The walls inside feature a corresponding pattern. The circular hallway has a distorted chessboard pattern. An immovable mannequin resembling Dr. Lead has been placed in the hallway between Justice and Beneficence. So that's the statue. And these, I presume, are the symbols. So the victim was found the one with teeth. That's called Justice. Beneficence, I'm not quite sure what that is. Autonomy is an ear. Is it supposed to be like an eye? Maybe like an evil eye? Anyway, this used to be a theme park ride, so having this kind of sort of weird design, it could be related to that. It certainly seems like a lunatic lighthouse, if you will.
What is the meaning of those room titles?
These rooms are all very similar to each other. They're spacious and empty, with the only apparent use being to store random trumpery. Merely 2 things discern them from each other. One was the supporting pillar in the center of each room. A single word was written on these pillars respectively: justice, beneficence, and autonomy. It appeared natural to use these as the labels for the rooms.
I see! And what do these icons mean?
I was about to explain it, but I just figured out. The second discerning feature were apparently the patterns on the floor, ceiling, and walls. Each of them displayed a different symbol of what appears to be a certain body part repeatedly. These were also displayed in the doors leading into the corresponding room. Given their prevalence, it made sense to include them as well.
So we have a mouth room, a nose room, and an ear room.
Oh, so that's supposed to be... So that's supposed to be a mouth? Oh, I guess it... Wait, no, not a mouth. The mouth is... yeah. A nose room. Actually, yeah, that does look a little bit like a nose. A nose pointed off to the left side. That's interesting. So the mouth, you know, the victims were found there, so it's like teeth, kill. Autonomy is hearing. That's smelling, but the mannequin was placed in between. I'm not sure what any of that means yet.
The floor is turning strange by the minute.
Certainly a very weird setup for a murder mystery. If I'm allowed one question, did the hallway also feature any strange wall patterns? I had appreciated if you kept your time-wasted questions to a minimum. However, your mindless guess happens to be correct for once. The boundaries of the hallway were painted on as well.
And what kind of pattern did the hallway have?
Nothing in particular was displayed. It was apparently a bizarrely distorted chessboard pattern. Whoever made the floor certainly must have found enjoyment in disorienting every visitor. Considering the candles that might be behind this, I'm not too surprised. So Dr. Lead, who, you know, wanted to make things weird, or Mr. Richman, Walter Snelland making the theme park. Alright, just 2 more questions. This was not meant to be question hour. Well, you can't just give us this map without explaining everything in it. Like, what's this line in the hallway between Justice and Autonomy room? And that uncanny head icon between Justice and Beneficence? The head icon is within my understanding, the one resembling Dr. Lead I mentioned. And that line looks like something that was placed temporarily there. Now, hold on a second there. That would mean it was standing in the inner hallway. I am quite aware that Mr. Polly could not have seen it if he was standing there at the time. Please don't waste our time on this. I already said Mr. Polly mistakenly thought he saw Dr. Lead. Not that seeing this specific mannequin gave him that impression. But you very much tried to imply it. Think whatever thoughts your ignorant mind is content with. I'm moving on. While the hallway may be called circular, there was no possibility of completely walking the circle. A metallic shelf was found blocking the lower part of the hallway, as is marked on the diagram. Quite a welcome obstruction. It rules out asinine ideas like someone avoiding detection that way.
Why would a shelf be blocking the hallway?
There's something even I cannot tell you the answer to. Was it heavy enough to the... Oh. However, it certainly was not moved out just recently. In fact, it's fixed in place and cannot be moved at all. In addition, the Hellinger found quite the layer of dust. That's what I was going to think of. I wasn't thinking it would be fixed down, but I was thinking, oh, you know what, there's probably dust in this thing, because I was about to say someone could have moved it. The dust had been disturbed on the second board from the bottom, with the imprint of a small face.
A face! But wouldn't that mean someone was there recently?
Not necessarily. This disturbance could be older than it looks. The dust must have been accumulating very slowly. Fun fact, a lot of dust is dead skin cells. So, you know, when you see dust, you're seeing dead people pieces. And honestly, when you're looking at someone, you're also seeing dead people pieces because the top layer of our skin is like dead skin cells. The dead parts are on the top. It's very weird.
I do sincerely hope that you are right and this place is not really haunted. Either way, the shelf is also accepted into evidence.
We even get the shelf. A metal shelf obstructing the hallway on the lower floor, fixed in place, is going to be moved. Because of a small face is visible in dust. Some very uncanny details. We'll have to bide by time. So, can we get to the actually important thing? I get the feeling you want to avoid talking about Mr. Guard's murder. There was no way that the Hellinger failed to investigate the body and hand you an autopsy. It takes a special kind of Philistine to waste my time with questions and then demand that I make haste. This is the autopsy report you are so desperate for. It is weird. If we take a look at here, the eyes are wide open. The mouth is wide open. It's the same facial expression. I don't know if that means anything or if that's just the way that the artist likes to draw corpses. But, you know, actually even the hand is in the same position. Although, for him it's his left hand is like that, and for her it's the right. But that is very notable. Her head's also tilted that way, but that's just because her body's up on the floor. We need to be able to see her face. Any other similarities from that not I can really see. As you can see, he's been shot several times from the front.
I thought the only gun that was brought here was the defendant's.
Annoyingly, it seems a second gun was smuggled in some way. Would you look at that? This keeps getting better and better. Then let us give you a false sense of confidence in your ignorance. Naturally, the rifling marks of this gun are entirely different from yours. Keep that in mind before you jump into an argument about which gun was used to kill Mrs. Holden.
Fair point. The second gun was delivered. The barrel does not match the bullet. The court accepts all of his evidence as well.
Guard's autopsy. The autopsy report from Mr. Guard. Name of subject. Who was Guard? Cause of death? Respiratory failure. Time of death, April 5th. At 0:50 to 1:05. 1:05 a.m. is only 4 minutes ago for me right now, actually. Wounds. Gunshot wound in throat, horizontal angle of entry. Bullet damaged trachea, causing blood to enter the airways. Bruises on chest, arms, and back. Note the subject wore bulletproof vest, which was hit by 4 bullets. All 5 bullets are a 99% match to the gun found on the floor nearby. Clothes and bruises indicate a struggle. So we shot 4 times and he started to try and struggle. And 99% match is pretty obvious. Gunshot wound in throat, horizontal ankle of entry, and that caused respiratory failure. Blood enters the airways, and that's what kind of caused it. Bruise on chest, arms, and back, that's the signs of the struggle. Notes in the vicinity of the subject. The body was lying face up near a broken display stand. Broken display stand, so that's here. The base of the stand is damaged with the black panels coming loose. A plaque on the front reads, "Only draw this weapon if you are truly prepared to kill." A locked glass case is placed atop the stand is empty. The lock is still engaged, but the glass is broken. Glass below the subject raises the likelihood it was broken before he died. Small trace of Melanie Holden's blood found on one edge of the case. And she's the original victim, right? Yeah. That's sister. No, not sister. Her daughter, Susan. Sister. But yeah, that's definitely weird. I mean, she's owned it for a long time, so we doesn't really say how old that blood is, but so it was broken before he died. Could these people be faking their own deaths? If Melanie Holden is still alive, wandering around somewhere. It would have to be with the assistance of like a lot of people, especially Hellinger herself, to write these fake reports. Anyway, I'll keep reading. Extendable baton was found lodged under the body. Okay, yeah, I kind of see something now. And these are all sort of teeth motif. Found in a retracted state. Well, when I think of extendable baton, I always think of that scene from Back to the Future 2, my favourite film of all time, where Griff pulls it out and he's like, "Batter up!" Well, he first pulls it out and like extends it before he says that funny line when he's in the cafe 82s. Anyway, enough Back to the Future references. Even thought I would say that, but inside of the extendable parts have traces of blood and small ink stain, blood determined to be the subject's. The Small ink stain is interesting, so something was written down. I guarantee the veracity of the above information. Signed, Celeste Hellinger. Now, if there's... It's only draw this weapon if you're truly prepared to kill. Could be referring to a gun. It could also be referring to a knife. And since this knife was taken by Melanie Holden, she could have broken the glass. Hold on. Did it say there was... Small cut on the tip of her index finger. Right. My theory so far, she got that knife from that glass case, and the proof is the cut on her index finger and the fact that some of her blood was found on the side of the case. It's very interesting. And this murder was done to sort of cover that up, because it's like, it kind of confuses the whole thing. I'm not sure what the baton means yet, or the ink stain. Second gun has been added to the court record. Let's take a look at that. The gun used to shoot Mr. Guard, found on the floor in the justice room. Holds up to 6 bullets. Magazine is empty. So that's kind of the opposite of this one, I think, isn't it? Doesn't say... Oh yeah, only 1 bullet is missing, and the second one was charged for forensics purposes, so it was fully loaded. Whereas this one was empty. It holds up to 6 bullets. That's interesting because 5 hit him. 4 hitting the bulletproof vest, 1 hitting the throat and killing him. And it holds up to 6. Someone wouldn't really load up a gun with only 5 bullets out of 6, because if you're going to fully load a gun, you're going to go all the way. So that last bullet could have been a second gunshot, you know? Related to the first incident. Putting things together here. I'm not sure about that bullet theory, but I'm 99.99999% sure that it was Melanie Holden who took the knife from the display case, and it's not actually... I think they're going to say that the gun came from that case to draw this weapon, if you're prepared to kill. And the fact that she drew that weapon means that she was prepared to kill, and that would also prove that it was self-defense, because it's like... I don't think it would actually prove self-defense, but, you know, it's a detective story, so it proves self-defense in that way. Think of the logic behind it. She's bound to have a reason to try and skim over it. I best read this one carefully. Already one step ahead of yourself already. With that, this pointless evidence review is complete. I hope that the Hellinger is satisfied and can proceed without wasting time on testimony. I have a witness to call that saw the only true relevant murder, after all.
Certainly, the evidence paints a clear picture, but this case is fucking weird. It appears quite obvious what happened and what the likely motive was.
This doesn't say... Wait, fingerprints from the following person would have taken the gun Melanie Holden right hand. Yeah, so... It doesn't prove that Lillian held it. It doesn't say that she didn't, because it isn't mentioned with marks. But Melanie Holden, if the fake and death theory is correct, could have shot God and then escaped through that window. If there's a window in the room. Hold on, does it say on the map? No, but it doesn't display the windows any different here either. Melanie Holden could have used that gun then. If not, if she's actually dead, then what happened is she left the gun in that room, swapped it with... She broke the glass, cut her finger, took the knife, swapped it with the gun, left the gun there. Looking up like, hey, there's still a weapon that could be drawn to kill you.
Let's redirect our focus back to the trial of Miss Chase. Please summon the next witness.
Right, she mentioned that she managed to find a direct eyewitness to the crime. That seems to contradict the very foundations of the case. What is this about? Name and occupations, as the masters will insist. I'm the invisible man. I'm the invisible man.
I don't want to interrupt, but I don't see anybody.
Figured you didn't actually have one. Fetch my witness something to stand on. That is one tiny witness. We didn't even see her with that full. Like, we didn't even see her poking out even. Like we did for Cody Hawkins and Sister Bikini with her back. And actually, fun fact, the reason they made her sprite so short was because on the original GBA game they were running out of space in the cartridge. Of course, there was enough room for a full Mia Fey in the waitress outfit spray. That's more appropriate. Now please provide them your name and occupation. Hello, I'm Marco Polo. What's an occupation? Who is this kid? Rude, I'm not a child. Really now? Just how old are you? 18. What's your manners, you brat? I'm still older than you regardless.
Miss Chase, you're to harass the witness. I must admit you do look pretty young for your age, Miss Polo.
Rude? I'm just short.
I see. To answer your previous question, you say you're short, but you're literally so short that I couldn't even see you, and neither could the fence who's like lower down than I am even. To answer your previous question, an occupation is your current job or what you're doing for a living. I've been called a judge, for example.
Oh, so that's what it is. Okay, but how did you just straight up not know that? Another rich person to the pile. You're the last person allowed to call out the others in their ignorance. Your superior attire alone shows any casual observer that you are decidedly outmatched. Anyone else want to hate on my fashion sense lately? Yeah, no, I'll pass on those ridiculous frilly dresses. Then my occupation is... Great explorer! I'm an adventurer!
That's... I've heard a lot of occupations, but that's a first.
Are we sure this witness is going to be reliable? At all? You Philistines could not appreciate the beauty of words. Oh, read some Wittgenstein. The limits of one's language are the limits of one's world. This witness is enjoying a richer life by employing the colourful beauty of metaphors. You're funny. You use funny words. That may not be the most fitting adjective, but you at least have enough intellect to appreciate it. Hey, I also appreciate clowns sometimes. Clowns? Where's the circus? I want to ride on a tiger's back.
Please stay focused on the trial, everyone. What does witness see, Miss Preston?
Certainly, we should not get sidetracked. This witness saw with her own eyes how the defendant shot the victim. No, keep silent and let me finish before you make any ignorant points. Yes, I'm aware of the fact that nobody else was found inside the room. So how did this individual witness the crime? Let me enlighten you. Let me guess for the event. You may have missed it if you did not look around thoroughly. Please appreciate the vent cover directly below the ceiling. I did investigate that, but the dust made it clear that it was never removed. That much is readily evident, however it does not rule out somebody looking through it. This witness was inside the shafts? How? Recall the display stand you love to distract the court with so much. Even you should be able to see the vent cover on the wall to the right. The one near the floor? No, I'm sorry. Are you mocking me with that? The one near the floor? Yeah. There's barely any dust here, so it's conceivable the cover was recently removed. You know, I have the most perfect voice ever, so I do not mind people trying to imitate it, although no one will ever come as close to being as perfect as me. This and the other opening both connected to a vertical shaft inside the wall. Consequently, if one enters from here, one will be able to directly see into the crime scene. Okay, but that's clearly too small for... I see your brain managed to catch on before you finished at a given point. These sensors are certainly too narrow for the average adult to be able to fit through. However, this witness is of exceptionally small height. She would easily be able to do it. Yeah, I'm not a child, but that's child's play. Marco, Polo. One of the auction guests and eyewitness to the crime. Extremely small, but able to crawl into the vent. Calls herself a great explorer. I think I'll probably try and do that sort of voice. If I can keep it up.
That does explain how she was able to witness the crime. But why were you in the vents in the first place, Miss Polo?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Well, yes, is there any other Miss Polo here?
Don't call me Miss Polo. It's weird. Makes me feel like I'm my mom.
What would you like to be called then, Miss?
Her Royal Highness Miss Mariko Millions?
I'm afraid this court is not authorized to hand out such titles.
Boring. They just call me Mariko.
Very well then. If it's the witness's request, we'll refer to her by her first name instead.
We got Monopoly and Mariko Polo. For a second, when I first saw her name, I thought they were both going to be like related to something. Could be, I guess, but they just have very similar surnames. And I mean, they were both in the room at the same time because she would have had to have gone into that vent. He would have then gone into the room. Although it is possible if she was in that vent the whole time, they never saw each other. I doubt it's going to go that way though. Can't tell if she wants to be seen as a child or not. You still didn't answer his question. Just what were you doing crawling around in those vents? The market was boring. I didn't want to watch. So I explored the area. You went to the ventilation shafts just to explore. Of course, I'm a great explorer. You realize those rooms were off limits, right? Who are you to tell her that? Okay, Velcro. You're rude. You did much worse things. Well put. Please share your enlightening observations with these average minds. We've already overrun by quite a bit, but it was partially because I wanted to get to a testimony, and partially because we actually underran on last week's episode, so I've made up for lost time. We're going to have to see what her intelligent observations are. All you average minds are going to have to wait until next week, though. So, yeah, see ya.